What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Commander Deck Tech. This week we have a partner Commander deck. We have Kamahl, Heart of Krosa, and Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. Pretty much this deck, I call it everything you can do, I can do bigger. Because most of the deck, you're copying creatures on the battlefield, and then you're going to get Kamahl out, and you're going to copy it with Sakashima, and you're going to pump all your creatures +6/+6, give them trample, or sometimes bigger. There's been times I get 3-4 copies of Kamahl out and then just swing. And everything gets +3/+3 for each copy of Kamahl you have on the battlefield. And if you have Sakashima out, the legendary rule doesn't apply to you. This is one of my favorite decks I've been playing lately because I just enjoy making copies of things and then making them bigger. So let's jump into this deck profile. Guys, with the creatures, we got Phyrexian Metamorph, Perplexing Chimera. This card is great. It just slows down the game because the second hits is board, your opponents don't want to cast anything. At least the big stuff. Clone, Gigantoplasm. I don't know how I missed that one. Land of War Tribe, because you do need some mana dorks in here. Stunt Double, Royal Elemental, Alter Ego, Body Double, Clever Impersonator, Sakashima's Protege, Farhaven Elf, because you need some mana dorks, Mystic Snake, another way to counter spells, Progenitor Mimic, probably one of the better copy cards in the deck, Diluvian Primordial, Sumberwald Sage, another good mana dork, Burnished Heart, Glasspool Mimic, Shapeshifters, Experimental Crag, Biovisionary. 4 copies of Biovisionary, you win the game. So there's definitely a win con in Biovisionary. Benthic Druid, because we want to get into our copy spells as quick as we can. So playing lands, we get the gain of life, draw a card. Coiling Oracle, another way to get some more lands into play. Acidic Slime for removal. Eternal Witness to get stuff back from the graveyard. And Agent of Treachery, because some of the cards we have say that it makes a copy of target creature you control. So, with Agent of Treachery, we can gain control of their creatures and then make copies of it. Or just make copies with our wonderful commander, Sakashima, of Agent of Treachery, or with a number of other cards in the deck, and then just go to town on making copies of their stuff. Planeswalkers in the deck, I'm running 2 right now, those being Jace Mirror Mage and Oko. Now, Jace Mirror Mage, when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create a token that's a copy of Jace Mirror Mage, and it's not legendary, starting with Loyalty 1. So that's fine, because they can both activate on every turn. So you get to scry 2, or draw a card and reveal it, remove a number of loyalty counters equal to that card's converted mana cost from Chase. And then Oko, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Till end of turn, Oko becomes a copy of target creature you control, prevent all damage that will be dealt to him. And then until end of turn, each creature you control becomes base power 10/10 and gains trample. So this is a great Planeswalker to have in this deck. It's a shame he was banned in, what was it, Standard or Modern or one of the other formats he was banned in. But he's legal in ours. So that's it for those. Next we got the enchantments. Leyline of Anticipation, because having Flash is amazing. And if you start with this in your opening hand, you can start with it on the battlefield. Mirror Maid makes a copy of target artifact or enchantment on the board. Beastmaster Ascension. When a creature you control attacks, you may put a quest counter. 7 or more quest counters on this, and your creatures get +5/+5. Just another way to pump up your copies. Like I said, anything you can do, I can do bigger. Next, we have artifacts. Artifacts, we are running Mirage Mirror. Great artifact. Soul Talisman. Thought Vessel. Mimic Vat. If a non-token creature you control dies, you may exile that card. If you do, return it exiled under Mimic Vat, and then pay 3 and create a token copy, and then it gets exiled at the end step, which is fine, because we sometimes just need an extra copy of Kamahl for the battle step, for the combat step. Soul Ring, and of course Lightning Greaves, because we don't want Sakashima getting blown up, or Kamahl for that matter. And then we got one last artifact, because if we can't copy it, we might as well just take their turn. So, Mindslaver. Pay 4, sacrifice Mindslaver, you gain control of target player's next turn. You see all cards that player could use and make all decisions for that player. He or she doesn't lose life because of mana burn. So, yeah, if we can't copy their stuff, we are just going to take their turn. And there's ways to get this back from your graveyard so you can do it again. And then on to the instance, we have Whirlwind Denial, Brainstorm. Let's see, we got Memory Lapse and Growth Spiral, Supreme Will, Misdirection, Ram Through, Harrow, which is probably the best land search card in the format, in my opinion anyway. Cancel, and Early Harvest. We play a lot of basics in this deck. So this, you go off, you play all your stuff, and then you activate this on top of all your lands, and you could just keep going. Psychic Spiral, shuffle all cards from your graveyard into your library. Target player puts that many cards from the top of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Late game, after your opponents think you exhausted all of your copy spells and your Mindslaver and stuff, why not? Just shuffle it all back. Let's try and mill somebody out, We also got Snakeskin Veil, Opt, Counterspell, Shared Summons. We're running a lot of instants in this deck because we want all our stuff to be quick. We don't want to waste too much time on our turns. But Shared Summons, again, probably another one of the better instants in the deck. You can search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names, reveal them, put them in your hand. Yes, your opponent is going to know they're in your hand after activating this, but chances are, depending where the game is at, you cast this, you already have the mana to play them anyway, so they're going to just see them that turn. So, that is the instance. Now we have Sorceries. For Sorceries, Sakashima's Will, I thought it was right on theme because Sakashima is one of our commanders. Journey to Discovery, Windfall. Each player discards his or her hand, draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards discarded this way. Days Undoing, another way to get your graveyard back in your deck. Except this one targets everybody at the table. Each player shovels his or her hand and graveyard into their deck, draws a new 7 cards, and if it's your turn, end the turn. 9 times out of 10 it is going to be your turn because this is a sorcery. Unless you have Leyline. If you have Leyline, it will be your opponent's turn because this will have Flash. So, yeah. And then Days Undoing gets exiled. So it does not go back into your deck so you can't keep using it. Mnemonic Deluge. I love this card. Exile target instant sorcery from a graveyard. Copy that spell 3 times. You may cast the copies without paying their mana cost and then exile this card. There's a number of different targets for this. A ton of different ways to abuse it. And I'm surprised it's not banned. One of my favorite cards to abuse with this is Aminatu's Augury. Exile the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a land from among them onto the battlefield until end of turn. For each non-land permanent card type, you may cast a card of that type from the exiled cards without paying its mana cost. So imagine you get to do this 3 times. Okay? 3 times. So you get 3 lands into play, hoping you hit 3 lands. And then you get to cast 9 cards for free. I'm pretty sure. At least that's the way we've been playing it. But Aminatu's Augury, what a great card. What a great target. There's also other targets you can use for this, like Clone Legion. Clone Legion's another great one. You can target all of your opponents, or you can target the same opponent 3 times. And you get a whole bunch of tokens. Cultivate, Clear Mind, and Sylvan Awakening. For that late game, you turn all your lands into 2/2 Reach Indestructible Hasters, and then you drop out Kamahl or a copy or 2 of Kamahl, and all your lands now become 5/5s, 8/8s, 11/11s, whatever have you. Reach, Indestructible, Haste, and Trample. So that is this deck tech, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for this deck, leave it down below. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and click on the bell. So every time I post a video, you will know about it. And don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. And let me know what other commanders you guys want to see. I am doing tons and tons of deck techs. Right now we're doing about 2 a week. So if there's a commander you want to see, let me know. I still have a whole bunch of commanders in the arsenal to do yet. And like always, the list for the deck is in the top of the description box. So you guys can click the link and check out the entire list. And see what you guys think. If you want to order the cards, you can order the cards. If you forgot what's in the deck, you can check it out. Let me know. See what you want to change up. You never know. I'll see you guys in the next